Hello there. It's a long time since you've seen me, but I heard from Don that it's your wedding anniversary. And I think it's your wedding anniversary, your 50th wedding anniversary, is the day before my 45th wedding anniversary. So definitely June was a very, very good month. So I want to wish you a wonderful and celebratory life together. And I'm going to tell you a little story about Don. You see these gray hairs? Yeah, I've got quite a few gray hairs with your son's name on them. And I had the pleasure of being his advisor when I taught at the Lexington School. And pretty much every day I would go into the staff lounge for coffee around recess time. And I'd hear these complaints, teachers just complaining about Don. And I said, every time you tell me something about Don, I go back to Don and I say, Don, did you do this? And he'd say, I don't remember, Mrs. Pickles. I didn't do that, none of that. It's not me, it wasn't me, it was somebody else. So finally, I didn't know what to do. And so here's what I did. Does this look familiar? This is something that I called a Don dollar. I invented it. This is not Don's picture. This was done for another little boy called William. I have two kids in my life, a William and a Don, that I had to use Don dollars on. So I got a picture from the Lexington School yearbook, and I put it on $1 and I reprinted it off. And every morning I met with Don and I said, Don, you have 5 chances. And I'm going to give you $5 because money was a big incentive for him. They weren't real dollars, they were made up dollars. And I'm going to give you 5. And anytime a teacher catches you doing something that you're probably not supposed to be doing, they're going to ask you for $1. And they're going to write on the back of the dollar what it is you're doing. And then they're going to give that dollar to me. So that at the end of the day, I will have these dollars. Hopefully I won't have any dollars in my mailbox. But if I do have $1 in my mailbox, I'll be able to say, oh, look, Mrs. Stiss caught you running down the hallway. Or Mrs. Haynes found you doing this. And you have to watch her or him write down what it is you're doing, and you have to agree to it, and then you can go. Because most of the teachers were keeping him in at recess or punishing him, and I wanted Don to be able to go out. So at the end of each day, I'd sit with Don and I'd say, Don, how many dollars do you have left in your pocket? Well, at first it was none. I had to give up all $5, Mrs. Pickles. So we'd look at all the dollars, and a lot of them were for running up the hallway. And he used to run up the hallway by the 4th grade classrooms just to get out to play. And he'd have these big arms outstretched running down the hallway. And very often the things that were hanging on the walls in the hallway would drop off and flutter down behind him. And he had no idea what kind of trail of destruction he was leaving behind him. But teachers would catch him and nab him and nag at him and often keep him in at recess. So once we laid out all the dollars, I said, look, it's because you're running down the hallway. You're da-da-da-da-da. A lot of it was running. So we found a way to let him out of a different door so that he wasn't running up and down the hallways, and he could go around and just get out to recess and run off all that energy. So that was Don. Lots of energy, and apparently you still have a Don dollar, so it's a good lesson. But Don was striking, and I think you've done an amazing job of rearing a fine young man. When he was in 6th grade, he and several other kids led the charge with Jenny O'Neill and I, well, she was Jenny Davis then, against Hall's School of Dance, because they were bigoted. They were not letting in children of any other race other than, the Kentucky white elite. And so Don and Helen and Rachel Ezra started a big campaign. And they did a lot of really good action. First of all, they got backing from some of the teachers. David Lowry backed them. And these kids took it to the next level and actually made change. So, to celebrate your 50 years of marriage, it's clear that Don has turned into a fine young man. I hear from him occasionally that his children are sometimes just about as naughty as he used to be, which makes me feel great. He's a great kid. So I celebrate the joy of your marriage, of your partnership, of your children and your great-grandchildren and your grandchildren. I don't know about great-grandchildren, but certainly grandchildren. Have a great day, and thanks for sharing Don with me for several years of my life, and I shall always remember him because these have his name on it. Have a great day.